Powerful stuff there for sure. And what we want to talk about here as well, and the questions that they may have regarding the sleep apnea is now, what about our veterans who do not have a CPAP machine yet, right? So, there's a lot of times where they may go in, do a sleep study, and the results are inconclusive, or they may be told that it's not severe enough to warrant a CPAP machine. However, the wife is complaining about snoring. The wife is worried about, and you're worried about as well as the veteran, not breathing while asleep, and different symptoms that you're experiencing. However, your physician is saying, hey, based on the sleep study, we're not going to fund you receiving a CPAP machine or even recommend it. What would you say for those veterans dealing with that?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, get a second opinion. Get a second opinion. If you feel as though that, again, that your diagnosis, your symptoms, your issues that you go through on a day-to-day basis is at a higher level than someone else's opinion, even though it's a medical opinion, it could be, again, a professional opinion. You always want to go ahead and shop around, right? You don't buy the first car that you get in, do you? Well, if not, or if you do, still go shop around. You want to go get a second opinion, just due to the fact that opinion may not be the best for yourself, because as we know, when we go to the VA, we get our treatment, and once we're getting our treatment, a lot of times, unfortunately, some veterans are not put in position to have their care delicately provided to them. Okay, a lot of times it could be just in and out, and it's an unfortunate situation. It happens again when we're talking about that physician. That physician is probably seeing 100 veterans that day, and it just may not be enough support. So with that said, you might want to get a second opinion. And if you're not receiving the care you need, you might want to receive other care, which you can be able to provide. We'll be able to provide you a lot more information in the community in receiving secondary opinions and care. And we're not talking about, any type of quick care clinics or anything of that nature, or any type of medical evidence that you may need for your case file. We're talking about strict medical treatment. So with that being said, getting your second opinion and getting additional care is going to be able to support your case file. But I'll tell you this: we know sleep apnea has been very prevalent amongst the military community. We know if you are dealing with things of that nature. So with that being said, make sure you are taking the time to be able to get your case file developed. All right. Get your case developed. Okay. A lot of people don't understand that this is a binding case that they will be reviewing for approval or disapproval of benefits. So take your time to do what you need to do correctly. You rather wait to be granted than be quick to be denied. Right. So make sure you just really take the time to get that in. Because of the updated changes that are coming around. However, we understand that it seems as though that they're shrinking the number of veterans who are being able to get sleep apnea. So criteria gets more difficult in a lot of components. So I want you guys to know that a lot of changes are coming. The VA is making a huge overhaul, and we're here to make sure that you get all the information that you need and that you deserve.
Absolutely, absolutely. So really happy about that, Kenneth. And I had one other follow-up in regards to the sleep apnea, in terms of, what veterans are looking for with that, and just with that medical opinion, right? So now you say get a second opinion. Now, does that need to be a VA doctor, or could that be a private medical, right? So that's one question that we often receive. And also, what if they had a previous sleep study before, and how would that factor in to them being able to utilize that for a diagnosis as well?
Great questions. So first, I'll answer the first question. So when we're talking about the physician, okay, it can be private, it can be again governmental, such as the VA, such as again any type of medical treatment on base or anything of that nature. So it can be either or, right? It can be either or. I'm not gonna say which is provided more pervasive weight. That is not my determination to make. That is for your decision maker. Okay, but what I will tell you is this: is that um, adequate treatment, adequate notes, and adequate diagnosis would always prevail. Okay. Um, but if you want to know more information, join the community because it's a lot more there as well. But what I will say is this: is that that's going to be very, very hugely impactful. Okay.
So the secondary question regarding sleep apnea is around the sleep study, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, with the sleep study, if they had a prior sleep study may have been done by a non-VA doctor or a VA physician, years ago, what's their timeline that would allow them to still utilize that sleep study to receive a rating decision or even just assignment of a CPAP?
So when we're talking about sleep studies, you guys, sleep studies, listen, vets, sleep studies are very, 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 very important. That makes the objective determination and if you have sleep apnea or if you do not. Okay. So when we're talking about sleep studies, it's very important that you focus on uh, getting the diagnosis. But how do you receive a diagnosis for sleep apnea? Well, a sleep study is provided. It's an at-home sleep study or it's in-facility sleep studies. So the sleep study is going to provide you a diagnosis or not. Okay, um, it does not matter where you get the diagnosis from, but what I will tell you, it matters the time in which receiving the diagnosis. Typically, again, and when I say this, I mean it in a very general sense. Everything is not cookie cutter. This is why you need a developmental action plan that is carved out, especially for your military service and also for your VA disability, right? You want to be able to communicate with someone who's going to be able to maximize that. But with that being said, I want you to understand that um, a sleep study is good for that year, right? A year's time frame. Other sleep studies can be granted within 7 years, 10 years, even if you're already service connected. It doesn't matter, right? As long as it was proven during the time of service connection. However, for medical evidence, I would recommend, again, having your medical evidence within that year. Having your medical evidence within a year's time frame. Other evidence matters. It does. It truly does. However, what I would tell you is though it matters, you need current diagnosis, complaint, or issues. I will never change that ever because the VA will not.